We're good now. Great, terrific. So, hello again, Facebook land, live stream land. I'm Jessica Lewis, and I'm the founder of a company called Sculpt Your Life. If you want to find out more about me, you can Google me. I'm told I pop up very fast. Jessica Lewis, Sculpt Your Life. The web address spelling, though, is slightly funky because, frankly, when I went to buy the domain 18-ish years ago, the one I wanted was already taken. So I did mess with the spelling a little bit. It's www.sculpt, just the way you'd expect it to be spelled, but then it's urlife.com. So the premise of all my work is that our health and well-being is literally like sitting on a three-legged stool. By the way, the reason why I'm doing this is because there's people in the room. That's not excited to have black people. Anyway, so yes, our health, our well-being, any health-related goal that we might have is literally like we're sitting on a three-legged stool. And you know how you can sit on a three-legged stool and shorten up one or even two of the legs a lot and still sit there. But if you whoop one leg away, you are going to fall over. At some point, your health is going to give way. Frankly, between just us chickens, I do think the relaxation piece, the relaxation leg, I should say, is the most important one because it's been my experience that even if I have a client that exercises and eats exactly the way I ask them to, if they're stressed out, again, they're going to have to kiss their health goodbye. But that's just my humble opinion anyway. So the three legs are fitness, nutrition, and relaxation. And not even necessarily in that order, but that's just the way I put it in my mind. So, yes, we have live people today. The style I'm going to teach you today, the style of Tai Chi I'm going to teach you today is called Tai Chi Cha. The third word is pronounced cha, like chuck wagon. I'm into food. So, and I don't know if you can zoom in on it in Facebook land here, but I have it printed out here. And I don't know if all of you all know, there's like 50 different kinds of Tai Chi in the world. Like if you were to go to the Eastern Hemisphere, you get to choose from 50. Here, maybe you can choose from 15, but still 15 is a lot to choose from. But here's the thing, there's only one distinction between all the Tai Chi practices. There are those which have what's known as a martial application, and that's the style that you were learning before with your former teacher, right? So what that means is if the hand slices by the eye, like in sort of a slow karate chop motion, and the eyes follow the hand, it's because theoretically there's like a bad guy coming at you from over there, right? But then there are those which are nothing other than mindfulness in motion. And guess which style falls into that category all by itself? This one. Yeah. So that's why Tai Chi Chuan specifically is so completely relevant to chronic disease, including cancer. And that's why I prefer it all over the other two accreditations that I have, actually. I never teach them. I always teach this. So I hope you all like it, and I hope you all like it. And one of the fellows said, I'm looking for a new teacher. I said, maybe you just found her. So now, one other thing I want to tell, a couple of things I would say. There's no such thing as bad Tai Chi Cha. And what that really means is the best way to do it is with the effort of no effort. So even wondering, am I doing this correctly, is too much work and unnecessary. Okay? We got that? The second thing is, which may look unfamiliar, especially to you guys, is um, this particular practice is closer to Qigong, the father of all energy medicine, than most other styles of Tai Chi. Therefore, there are moments of motionlessness sandwiched in between each one of the movements, and sometimes a few moments built into the movements, because why that's valuable is when you're doing the moving portions, you're activating and circulating the energy that normally resides in your body, but more effectively. And then when you come to rest, you're letting all that good juju that you just kicked up settle down in the marrow of your bones, which is the cradle of your immune system. So that's why it's relevant. And people find that this is easier to learn because of that, because they don't have to do it in a certain order. So those are my 3 PSAs I wanted to give you. So let's first just find the comfortable rest position that we will use before and after each one of the moves. So if my feet were my hands and I could pick them up and show them to you very easily, you'd see that mine are sort of in a V. Whatever V works for you is fine. I'm actually working with somebody right now who's getting ready for a hip replacement, and this is her V, and that's fine. All right. So put your feet in a little bit of a V. And now here's the real trick. I want you to really feel every millimeter of both your feet. You're all wearing shoes, so at least touching the hard inner surface of your shoes. So I'm going to turn sideways. For me, when I normally stand like this. I kind of stick my upper body out. It's just what I do. But when I'm standing like this with my knees locked and sort of in the back, my weight's in my heels. Is that true for you? You never really thought about it. Yeah. Okay, so do this though. Let's start with the knees locked and in the back. And then all I want you to do is just pretend a little person walked up behind you and tickled you in the back of the knees, and you went, oh. Just let them soften. It's different from bending. It's just soft, right? So did you feel your weight spread? Yeah, they're all nodding. Sorry, they're nodding. Yes. Okay, so that's the most important part. 3/4 of the rest position is that. Okay. And what do we do with our hands? By the way, this whole practice is so completely adaptive. You could do it in a chair. You can even do it intentionally. If you were seated in a chair, your hands would be resting on your thighs, right? So if you're standing, you just lift the fingers. Yeah, like you're resting your palms on something firm and horizontal. Yeah, that's it. Let's all take a nice deep breath, because breathing's good. Right. And I think while we're in this position, let's just do a couple of minutes of good old-fashioned mindfulness. It can't hurt. We all kind of raced around to get here today, so it'll help settle us into the soles of our feet. So how about this? Let's all pick our own individual spot um, in our inner landscape, somewhere from here down, to focus our attention on. And we'll begin that, slightly deeper focus by me calling the bell, which is a fancy Buddhist way of saying I'm going to ring it. Right? And just see if you can let your thoughts dwell on that spot of your choice until I call you back. Okay, so here we go. I didn't want to leave you hanging too long in case that's something you don't do or don't enjoy. A lot of people like the idea of mindfulness, but they have trouble standing or sitting still for it. So that's why I teach Tai Chi Chuan. That's exactly why. Okay, and I know these folks do, but I forgot to ask you, do you have any Tai Chi experience? Okay. Oh, that's great. Okay. So from Beth, you probably heard her talking about flowing from the core, flowing from the center, flowing from the dantian. Did you hear that? Yes. Okay. So one of the reasons why Tai Chi Chuan is often very, very easy is that if that idea is alien, what we say is just focus on the soles of your feet. Because if you're really, really doing the things that I ask you to do, then you will actually be flowing from the core. Okay, so once you get a little bit more experience, you'll probably be able to focus on several things at once, but you don't have to. Right? All right, so I'm standing a little bit sideways because I think these folks will have an easier time seeing what I'm about to do. We're going to do the first movement. We'll probably do just a few movements of most of the movements today. We may not get through all 20. So here we are just standing, resting, right? And for rocking motion, we want to step out with the left leg. And the easiest way to do that is kind of ooze away from it a little bit. And it will almost go out by itself. Yep. It may look like opening the door, if that's what that does. And the toes point forward now. And now we're going to let the weight flow to the rear. So we're just going to lengthen the knees and put the hands back there. And now we're going to flow forward and back. I'm about to hit my sign, so I'm going to move. Nice. Nice. I wish y'all could see these people. They're moving really beautifully. I know I always say there's no such thing as bad Tai Chi Chuan, but you guys look good. Nice. And taking your time. Just let the weight flow all the way to the back and just lengthen the knees and all the way to the front and lengthen them. Do you feel your toes want to leave the ground? Yeah. And then your heels, they just kind of do it by themselves. Do you feel it? These guys look great. You should be here. Nice. And see if you can actually get into the rockingness of it, like all the way back to the dawn of man. Rocking is one of the ways we make ourselves feel better, right? This move is still actually incorporated in very common Chinese medicine, actually. It's especially good for recovering from traumatic brain injury. Let's keep going. We normally do 9. How about we do 2 more? And on the last one, you're just going to flow back the direction you came from. I forgot to ask you guys, did Beth normally mirror to you, or would she move the same directions that you all were moving? She would mirror? Yeah, so I'll mirror. Okay. Will that help? Yeah, I'll mirror. No problem. I'm really good at it. I've learned. It's like the best way to do it online, right? So here we are resting. Good. Let's do bird flaps its wings. This one's so very simple. Again, I'm going to stand sideways. We're just going to let the hands flow close together. It's like you're praying, only there's a little air between them, right? And we're just going to let the weight shift to the front of the feet. And the heels will just leave the ground by themselves again. So here we go. And the little arms will flap out. I know. Good. It's really little, isn't it? It's not a big arm gesture. Now on this third one, we're going to trace a little circle in the air. Here it goes. And then flow back. And we're going to do 2 more sets just like that. 2 little flips of the wings. And the second little flip of the wings. And then the circle. Yes. And again, they're like teeny weeny sparrow wings instead of condor wings, right? You could probably tell how this is the effort of no effort here, right? It's very little. And then flow back down to rest any way that feels easy for you. Good. Okay, so let's do a bunch of the forward backward moves. They're all the same from here down. So once we get that forward backward weight shift, you already got 3/4 of the move right there, okay? So here we are resting. And I want you, when I face sideways, I won't mirror you. So I want you all to sink down a little bit lower and then shift all the way into your right leg. So you really honestly have every drop of weight on your right leg. And then just extend the left knee. and the heel will just go out wherever it wants to go. And just imagine you have a big plate out here in front of you, and you're going to put your hands in the back. Since your left leg is out there, we're going to flow out over the left leg. Here we go. And then we're going to flow back over the rear leg. Good. Here we go. Nice. So it's just a question of letting your weight shift all the way to the front foot and the front toe of the back foot, front ball, and then back again. We're trying to empty that rear leg as much as we can into the front leg and vice versa. Good. Nice. Let's do just one more. We normally do 9. We'll call this 6. And then flow back to rest any way that's easiest. Feel your feet touching the floor for a moment. Let's do the other side. So we're going to sink and shift into the left leg completely and extend the right heel. Yeah? And here we go out over the other foot now. Whichever foot is sticking out there, that's the direction the hands are going to flow. Yes. So if you're looking down in your hands, they probably look like they're going counterclockwise right now. You can do it the other way. It just won't feel quite as good. Yeah. Nice. Let's do one more. We'll call that 6. Let's flow back to the soles of the feet. Spend a few moments feeling them. Let's do a round the platter variation. It starts the same. Here we go. We're sinking. We're shifting to the right. We're extending that empty left leg. The hands come up. We start to move, but then just in front of the shoulder, yeah, on the same side of the body as the sticking out leg. There's a slight variation in what you do with your hands. You see how the fingers just lift? Yes. And then they're gone. It's like you have a little ball between your hands and you sort of let it drop off the front lip of the plate. Yeah. Let's do one more. And rest. I'll do the other side facing you and I'll mirror you this time. Okay. So here we are. We're sinking. We're shifting all the way to your right this time. Oh, I screwed up. All the way to your left so your right leg can extend. Here, I said it was such a good mirror and then I screwed it up. Oh well. That's a lesson of Tai Chi. I made a mistake. Oh well. Here we go. Around the platter variation on the other side. Yeah. Good. Now see if you can let your upper body just sort of ride forward and back, almost like a stack of Oreo cookies. Because your spine kind of looks like that, right? With the gooey stuff between them. Not that I would ever recommend somebody eat Oreo cookies. They're really bad for you. Ah, that's a good visual. Let's do one more. Nice. And flow back to rest. Feel your feet touching the ground for a moment and we'll move on. Let's do base drum. So we're going to drop and flow all the way into the right leg now. So your empty left leg can extend. And your hands are going to come up to about here. It's like you have a big high school marching band bass drum strapped to your shoulders. And your fingertips are just going to run around the nice, cool steel rim. Good. Now I'm going to turn sideways again. And I don't mirror and I'm sideways. See if you can let your upper body just ride forward. Maybe the easiest way is let your eyes be their normal level. Yeah. And you might be able to feel your dantian expanding and contracting that way. Do you feel it a little bit more? It's harder to feel when you lean forward, but it can be felt. Let's do one more. And rest. And the other side. So we're going to sink and shift into the left leg and let your empty right leg extend. Yep, here we go. Nice. Nice. Very nice. Very, very nice. And we're going to do one more. And then just flow back to rest for a moment. Nice. Let's do daughter on the mountaintop. Okay, I will mirror you. Let's all sink down. Let's shift to the right. So your empty left leg can extend and the hands are just going to turn over. Yeah. As we flow forward, it's like they want to clap, but then they miss each other and then they fall. Yeah. Oh, now here's a big visual distinction between Tai Chi Cha and pretty much every other style of Tai Chi. Let's all go forward and just pause there. You see how my fingertips are facing the ceiling rather than like crossed swords, right? Remember, no martial application, right? So this is what we call an extremely open wrist. It's almost cocked back. Good. And then you just let them fall into the bottom. Whoops, he lost his balance. At the bottom, the arms just relax so much, the hands separate. Yeah. If you find that you're struggling with your balance, just adjust where one of your feet is placed. You might have them, the front one, too much in front of the other. Yeah. Let's do one more. Nice. And flow back to rest. Ah. And let's do the other side. Now, even though we switch legs, I don't know why, we're not going to switch hands. So when they cross at the top, it's always the left hand that's closer to the body. I don't know why. The heart's on the left side. Maybe that's why. The originator of the practice died about 10 years ago, so we can't ask him. And he really was a Zen master, so he wouldn't always answer questions with anything other than other questions, so I'm not sure it would have been an effective use of our time. Let's do one more. Good. And flow back to the soles of your feet. Nice. Let's do the complementary move to this move. All right, so here we go. We're going to sink down. Let's all shift to the right and let your empty left leg extend, and the hands are going to come up. Yeah. And then as you flow forward, they come together and they rise. And as you flow back, they fall. As the other move was sort of like you're unzipping your jacket, and this one is kind of like zipping it back up. Do you feel that? Yeah. Nice. Let's do one more. I think that was 6. I could be wrong. Oh well. And other side. I always say to people, those little mindful moments in between the movements, if nothing else, even if you don't believe the woo-woo explanation I gave you earlier, how often during the day do you stop and feel your feet touching the floor? You know, even if that's all you get from this, you're way ahead of the curve, you know? Let's do one more. And feel your feet touching the floor. Nice. I'm going to skip over this next move because it's side to side. I don't know why on earth is it in the middle of all the forward backward moves. It just is. So we'll do these last two, and then we'll do all the side to sides at once because the movement pattern is really similar. So let's do push pull. As Charlotte mentioned earlier, this move. So let's do it together. I'll face you, but I will mirror you. Okay. So here we go. We're sinking down and over to the right, and the left leg is extending. Yeah. Only instead of like, swimming, it's like you're going to play patty cake with me. Let your palms come towards my palms and bring your palms back to you. Yes. So you all probably already got that one thing Tai Chi Cha has in common with all the other styles of Tai Chi is in every move, at least some body part is drawing a circle in the air, right? This is no exception. It's just sort of a mushed circle. It's like an ellipse. And just flow back to the soles of your feet. And then into the other leg. So you can extend your right one. Yeah, the hands come up. Here we go. Nice. Actually, the first time I came in contact with this type of movement was from a Tai Chi Chuan master. And he said, this is the best anger management technique I have ever encountered. Many people call it push hands. And I thought, why does it have to be about anger management? And then not long after that, I learned Tai Chi Chuan, and I'm like, this is it. We're just exchanging positive energy. Send me yours, and I will send you mine. I know I miscounted. Let's do one more. And flow back to the soles of your feet. That was really nice. Let's do pulling in the energy. This one is really great if you struggle with sleep and wake up in the morning feeling like you've been hit over the head with a hammer. Okay, so here we go, which I have had that experience. So we're going to sink and we're going to shift to the right so the left leg can extend and the hands are basically under the platter now, the same one you already used. And because that leg is sticking out, that's the way they flow. So here we go. Out over the sticking out leg, back over the rear leg. If this is an extremely open and inviting position, right? So we always say, just imagine you're pulling in energy from the most distant star you can think of into all little nooks and crannies of your body, right through each one of your 10 fingers. Let's do one more. And we'll flow back to rest. Just feel the body not moving for a moment, and then we move. So here we go, into the left leg, so the right leg can extend. Yeah. And here we go. This move is so much fun to do outside because you feel the sun on your hands. How often do you stop to feel the sun on the palm of your hands? And that, by the way, that actually puts this move on steroids. If you wake up in the morning and you're really feeling tired, just go outside and do this move. I promise you, you're going to feel like you just had some espresso. It's great stuff. It's probably wrong for me to make that promise, but everybody says it's true. Let's do one more. And back to rest. Nice. We typically do 9 movements of everything, or sometimes we do 3 sets, and sometimes the sets have 3 parts. But in general, 9 is that's sort of a magic Chinese number, you know. So so because that one is so energizing, do not do any more than 9 at night, or you will not sleep. And I have had that experience too. All right, so we're going to do the side to side moves. Let's start with carry the ball because it's so easy and so much fun. So, who here has seen Karate Kid? That's probably why I got into karate years ago. You know, I love Karate Kid. So, you remember wax on, wax off? Right. So, we are going to do a move like that, maybe right after this. We call it passing clouds. You might have known it by wave cloud hands or hands pass like cloud, whatever. And all the Tai Chi practices have some version of that, and they all have the word clouds in them. But carry the ball to the side is like wax on, wax off, only your hands are together because you have a ball between them. So it's the same move. So let's feel our body resting. Let's just do that. It's always a good place to start, right? And I'm mirroring you. So we're all going to sink down. Let's all shift to your right. But then I want you to actually rotate your entire upper body. So here we go. Oh, I'm sorry. To the right. So your belly button should be flowing sort of towards those. Yes, good. And you'll know that that happened because your shoulders kind of rotated. Do you also feel like you kind of backed up into your right butt cheek? Yes, good. So just put the back hand up like you're going to wave at me. And we're just going to cover it. And there's your ball, right? And then let the empty leg just sort of slide to the side, heel first. And here we go. We're going to move the same way we were already moving in all the forward back moves. We're just going to go side to side now. And the feet stay planted down for this particular move. Since this is new to you, let's just do 6 rotations. We normally do 3 sets of 3. This will help you get a muscle memory. And on the last one, you're headed to your left leg, so just stand up on it. Yes, you should see that. They did such a great job. It's great. I have a lot of people coming in every week, so I'm talking to them. All right, we're going to go back the other way. Here we go. Sinking, shifting to your left, and we're going to rotate the belly button towards the left. Yeah. It's like the belly button is the eye of the dantian, and it just turns to look over there. And then up comes the ball. Good. And here goes the empty leg to the right, and here we go. Nice. You guys are great. Nice. And here's the last one. So we're just going to float up and float down. Nice. Now remember, there's no martial application here. So I know the hands are so interesting and you want to look at them, right? But there's no need to because there's no bad guy coming at you from over there. You're not grabbing his sword or anything like that. So if you can, keep your eyes on me and that will help your upper body be very erect too. Also, you'll be able to follow me easier if you're looking at me. So if at any point you lose sight of me, you'll know that you have turned your head. How about that? That's your sign right there. Let's do passing clouds. Same move, only the hands move independently. Okay? So here we go. Good. This time we're going to sink down and we're going to shift to your left. It's the only one that shifts to the left. I don't know why. And then let your belly button eye sort of turn towards the door, and this hand is going to go up. It's like you're high-fiving the door. We're just going to leave this guy here until he has something else to do. And then let your empty heel just slide out to the side. And here comes the rotation. Good. And then when you flow back towards the door, here comes the other hand. It feels familiar, right? Yeah. Very nice. The only difference between this and passing class, carry the ball, is when the hand passes the face, it faces the face. Otherwise, it's exact same move. These guys are doing so great. Really looks good. This is our last set, by the way. So as we flow back to your left, we're just gonna land very softly. That was a perfect 10. Landing in Olympic fashion, a perfect 10 landing. That was great. Okay, so we're going to do a bunch of these if we have time. Yeah, we do. My gosh, we're going so fast. Amazing. You guys are just quick learners. So pulling taffy is a great movement pattern. It's so, so powerful. You can really heat up your whole body, starting with your hands when you're pulling. It's like part the wild horse's mane, only rather than, big, it's much smaller. Okay, so rub your hands together. Good. And then just pass your hands over each other and do it again. Yeah, just change places. So the hands are real close. And in all the pulling taffy movements, because we have the basic one, and then three variations, the hands, you know, they really don't get that far apart. Oh, that's not true. Never mind. But this is what's happening. So I don't know about you, but when my hands pass over each other like this, I feel something and then it's gone. It could be I'm telling myself a story, or it could be friction, as my really good friend, who's a very well-known physicist, says, or it could be the Chih. Who knows? You know? So here's how we pull taffy. In fact, let's just do it one hand at a time. It's so, so easy. Here we go. We're resting. And in fact, you can just let your arms hang. I think it'll be easier this way. So let's all sink down and we're going to shift to your right, and then we're going to let the belly button sort of flow towards your right. And now look which shoulder came forward. Yep. So that hand just goes here. Good. And then as the empty leg slides out to the side there and we shift to it, the hand comes along. It's like you're passing a tray of cookies. And then this leg is full, so you just stand up on it and you rest. And let's go back the other way with one hand. So here we go. Sink, shift, turn. There goes the arm across the belly. Yeah, exactly. This is such a little move. It's almost like this is a door and there are hinges here, and the arm just goes, right? Rather than, that's a lot of work. That's not the effort of no effort, right? And then let's stand up on this leg and just rest. Good. Let's do one more set like that with me zipping it, and then we'll add the second arm. So we're sinking. Good. Nice. And we're sinking and shifting and turning again. You guys are really getting it. And rest. Good. All right, let's add the second arm. It just slides up on top. Yeah. And as you shift, the hands separate. They actually come, this is about as far as they get. So the back hand kind of grounds you. The palm is, facing the floor, and the fingers are kind of going the same direction as your toes. Yeah. And these fingers are going the same direction as your other toes. Yeah. Let's stand up. I just realized I did part the wild horse's mane wrong a minute ago, but whatever. Oh well, here we go. Other side. I don't practice the other style, so it says in the Tao we get really good at what we practice most. So I practice Tai Chi Cha a lot, and I'm really good at it. Let's do one more set. We normally only do three, but you guys are really getting this, and I want you to have a good muscle memory for it. Nice. And back the way we came. So great. Nice. Oh, so good. Okay, you know what? I think I'm going to skip over this variation. Let's do variation number two, wrist circles. Many people just call it wrist circles taffy. So we're going to drop into the heels. And when we do that, the fingertips are just going to drop. And when we shift into the balls of the feet, the fingertips come forward. We're just drawing a little circle in the air here on the side of the body. Nice. Let's just do that a couple more times so it starts to feel natural. Nice. That looks great. Let's do it one more like that. All right, now this time you drop down and the fingertips start to rise, but then you're going to flow over towards your right. So the left arm is going to be underneath. Yes. And there goes the empty heel. And we're going over to your left. Yes. They got it, folks. Very good. Let's do that again. We're going to do 2 wrist circles. I'll break it down into smaller pieces. And on the third one, the fingertips rise and you rotate to your left. Yes. Yes. And rest. Yes. It's kind of complex, but it's very fluid. Let's do it again. The next one is the most fluid of all. I think you're going to like it. Over to your right. Flow to your left. And rest. Yes. And again. Over to your left. Yes. And then flow to your right. And rest. Nice. We usually only do 3 sets of each of the taffy movements, except for this next one. We often call it perpetual motion taffy, and we do 9 sets. I don't know why, we just do. Now, it looks just like regular taffy, only we don't stop, right? So you know how this is regular taffy, right? So this is perpetual motion. You don't have to do it yet, just watch. We just don't stop. It's like you're about to step over there, but then you just step back. So the easiest way to do it, because remember this is the effort of no effort, is to basically just let your hands cross over, kind of like the way they did when we were playing around with the Chih, right? They never really get any wider than about your hips, or else you're going to have to use extra effort to race them back together again, okay? And the only other thing is we're going to let the upper body rotate ever so slightly more, and that will actually peel the trailing heel off the ground so you don't have to lift your leg. Okay? So let's do it together. Here we go. We're going to do one arm at a time. You'll know which arm goes here because that'll be the shoulder that's out in front. You can just let your hands hang. Just feel your feet touching the ground. Nice soft knees. Good. You're going to let your little belly button turn towards your right, and your left arm naturally flows across. Good. Here we go. You're going to turn so far to your left that the trailing heel leaves the ground, and then we're going right back. They got it. These guys are good. I am blessed with awesome students. Always, but especially today. Nice. You've got it. So hold on to your hats. We're going to add the second arm. Yeah. The other arm just goes up on top. It has nowhere else to go. Right? Here we go. and they just change places and back. It's like a very small part the wild horse's mane that doesn't stop. Nice. And I never did tell you about the breathing. You know what? Just breathe. The best way to breathe in Tai Chi Chuan is to breathe. It doesn't matter. You don't have to have a pattern. You don't have to match your movements to the way you're breathing. Just breathe and smile. Nice. And this is going to be our last set. So as we flow back the way we came, we're going to have one nice long pull, and then we'll rest. That was great. That was great. Let's do work in the pulley. It's also pretty complex, but a lot of people find it very easy. So it's both forward, back, and side to side. You can do it, no problem. You totally think there's no reason why you can't do this. So I will mirror you. Okay, let's all sink down. Let's all shift to your right. So your left leg can extend because it's empty, right? And that's the hand that goes up. And the other hand faces the sky. Your other right. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's good. Good. Okay, so now you probably already figured out we're going to flow from the back leg into the front. That's normal, right? But we're going to let the upper body rotate sort of away from the hand that's going forward. And you're going to feel how easily that will allow your other hand to move behind you. So you won't have to use any shoulder muscles at all to do this, but it's going to look like you're waving your arms like crazy. So you ready? Here we go. We're flowing into the front leg, but the belly button's turning away from that hand. And now we're flowing into the back. Yes, they got it. It's like you're pushing a very sweet, gentle little pie into someone's face. And then you just carry it back very level so it doesn't drip off the front of your hand, right? This probably looks like Repulse Monkey, only smaller and with less effort because there's no martial application. Nice. Let's do one more. And as we're flowing back, we're just going to let the hands catch up to each other. And that was great. Let's do the other side. Here we go, down, shifting over. Let your empty right leg extend. So that's the hand that goes up. And the other hand, yep, here we go. Let your belly button flow away from the hand that's moving forward. Or you could think of it as it's following the elbow moving back. Either way, you will let your body rotate that way. So whichever leg you're flowing into, that's the hand that's coming forward. So right now it's your right. And now it's your left. Yes. And it must be Wednesday because the landscapers are here. Let's do one more. I don't think you guys on YouTube can hear it. And rest. So nice. Oh my gosh, we have so much time. Let's do light at the top of the head, light at the temple, joyous breath. And you know what? I think we're going to get through all the moves. Okay, light at the top of the head, light at the top of the head, light at the temple. I thought I mixed up the name there for a minute. It's a two-parter. It's super duper easy. I'm going to turn sideways because you're going to really see how you already know it, really. Okay, so the body is just going to sink down, and you're just going to scoop up a little chi, and you're going to let it, the momentum, bring your hands all the way up to the top of your head. Now, if this hurts for any reason, you can put your hands anywhere that's comfortable. Okay, but I'm going to put them up here. Palms facing each other. It's sort of the same position you were at in bird flaps its wings, only up here, right? And so now we're going to do the same thing we did in wrist circles, We're going to sort of shift to the heels, and then we're going to shift to the balls of the feet, and the hands are going to separate kind of like windshield wipers. It's like the whole body contracts and then it expands. We're going to do one more. Good. All right. Now, while we're just sort of standing in neutral, we're going to let the palms rotate. It's like you're pulling your energy up and out and kind of mixing it with the cosmic consciousness up there for about 6 seconds. So let's call that 6. And then hold for about 6 seconds. And then we're going to do that sinking and rising thing again. Good. On the third one, the hands are going to circle all the way around, and you're going to kind of fold the energy back in on yourself. If you want to get really technical about it, the left hand is closer to the body again than the right, just like in the daughters. Now we're going to do the second half. So here we go. We're going to sink down. Let the chi come up to your temples. Good. And here we go. We're sinking and we're rising. Yeah. This movement is also very energizing. Now you're going to mix forward. It's like I'm messing up my hair. I've actually tangled my fingers in my hair by mistake a couple of times when I do this. And now we're going to hold. Good. And now we're going to sink and rise. Good. Sink, rise. Let's sink and circle. Fold the energy in. And that was great. So we always say, if you do light at the top of the head, light of the temple, you should probably follow it up with joyous breath. It doesn't actually, you can mix and match the order here. Because of those little moments of mindfulness between the moves, you don't have to do it in order. A huge difference between Tai Chi Cha and Tai Chi Chuan practices, right? But we always say that if you do light at the top of the head, you should definitely do joyous breath, because this one's a very, I'm really up there. I'm kind of spreading my energy kind of thing. And joyous breath is very grounding, so it balances it out. So I'll do it from the side. Again, it's very, very easy. Here we are resting. And we're just going to let the weight shift a little bit to the right so the left leg can move out to the side again. It's almost like how we started rocking motion. And we're going to use a special breath this time. It's almost like the sound, you're going to hear it in your head. And it's kind of like the sound you hear when you hold a shell up to your ear. It sounds like the ocean, right? So you make that sound by doing, but with your lips closed and your jaws kind of dropped in. You make a big cave out of your mouth and throat. All right, so here we go. We're going to sink down while we use the special breath. And we're going to turn the palms over and rise as we come to the fronts of the feet, and turn the palms over, and we're going to use that special breath again while we press down like in 4 sections. Let's do it again. Again. And let's just flow back to rest any way that's natural. Nice. We're going to do 6 healing sounds. It's probably the most complex just because there's so much medical history connected to it. So I'll tell you what, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to mirror it, and you guys just copy me. In many ways, it's like a combination of all the moves. That's why it's got a lot of fancy footwork. But it's really more just, it's like the cha-cha. There's a forward and a back, and then we go sort of forward and back again, and then we go to the side. And then it's sort of a forward and a back, and a forward and a back, and we go to the side, right? The Tai Chi cha-cha-cha. Oh, here are the sounds, by the way. I'm going to say them out loud. Say them with me. First one is ho, ho. Next one is who, who. And then su, su, sh, sh, she, chui, chui. It's like we with a ch. Only we're going to send them up from the dantian. So it's like, if you were holding your hand on your dantian and a hand in front of your face, you would feel it. Okay. So here we go. Let's just rest. We're going to flow a little bit into your right leg so your empty left leg can go out, and that hand is going to go out too. And here comes ho. And we're going to come all the way back, and that front heel is actually going to leave the ground, and then we're going to do hoo. And now we're going to put our hands on the side and kind of rotate the body. And the empty leg out front, it just comes back and over. And here comes shoo. And now the empty leg comes forward, and this is sh. Sh. And we're going to let that heel leave the ground, and this is she. Sh. And we're going to put the hands on the side and kind of turn, and the empty foot comes back and over, and this is chui. Chui. And we're going to do the whole thing 2 more times. So here's ho. Give you lots of practice. And this is who. And this is Sue. You feel the cha-cha feet? And this is sh. Sh. And this is she. Sh. And this one will be chui. Chui. And this one is ho. Good. And this one is who. And this one is Sue. And this one is sh. Sh. And this one is she. Sh. And this one is chui. Chui. And now we're going to do like perpetual chuis. Chui. So it's sort of like perpetual motion tapping. Chui. 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 And we're going to rest. That was fantastic. We're going to end with the 20th movement is not actually a movement, it's a pose called Cosmic Consciousness Pose. I never mirror it because it feels too weird. We only do it on one side. So I'll just talk you through it. So feel your body resting. Really feel your feet on the ground. That's important here. And then if you can, without shifting your weight, just sort of pick up your left heel and drop it down on your right ankle. Yeah, good. So your weight is still evenly distributed. It's just the whole right foot and the ball of the left. And then the arms flow up. And the fingers overlap again. The left hand is the one that's closer to the body. And some people say, this looks like effort to me. But I always just take that out of the equation by saying, imagine you're resting your forearms on a countertop or something. We're just going to hang out here for a moment or two. And then we're going to flow back to rest. So just because I want you to humor me, see if you can pick a spot somewhere south of the belly button to focus your attention on, even with the lawnmower man buzzing around the outside. You think you could do that? Let's do that. Let's just see if anything has changed since the beginning of our practice, okay? Just see with your mind's eye. So I'll pick a spot. Let's call the bell. Here we go. Again, I didn't want to make you do it any longer than you might be accustomed to if you're not accustomed to it. So that was it. I only skipped one move. I just wasn't sure we'd have time, so I went over this one. But you know what? The footwork is the same as six healing sounds. There's a forward, back, a side, a forward, back, a side. You would have easily done it if we had 5 more minutes. We could have done it. But so, did you like it? Was it confusing at all? Oh, awesome! Some people say, "Well, yeah." I'm like, "Well, wait, it's got to be way less confusing than a lot of confusing things, right?" But you guys caught on so well. It is obvious that you had at least encountered something like this before. So, right? Right? So, stick around after class if you don't mind. If you'd like, I can email you some information. I'll just have you write your names and email addresses on my roster. Is that okay? Or I can just give you my cards, whatever you prefer, or not. Some people, some people don't like Tai Chi Chuan. Some people don't like me. It's okay. There's lots and lots of styles of Tai Chi in the world, lots of teachers. So that's it. So again, I'm Jessica Lewis, and I'm the founder of a company called Sculpt Your Life, and I'm here every second and fourth Wednesdays, teaching at the wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Cancer Support Community. I love this place, so great. And so I'll see all you guys out in Facebook land in about 2 weeks, and maybe I'll see you guys again too. That'd be great. Okay? Thank you. Thank you. Let me turn off the live stream. Hit the finish button.